So I'm just going to say good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the States or in the world. Welcome. Glad to have you here on our Thursday Live with me, Denise Arminio and Clara McIntyre. And hopefully Connie will be joining us. And anyway, we are happy to have you here. And we do not have a volunteer for today. So if anybody has an issue that they would like to work with today, just put that in the chat bar and we can see what we can do. So just let me, if anybody is there. I think everybody is here. Emma, your left heel. You're the winner. Okay. Oh, Allie, sorry. Come back next week and we'll get you next week. Just remind me, okay, that you are our second volunteer today, or send me an email at Denise@Insight Health Apps and we'll get you in for next week. Anyway, I am going to, let me find you, Emma, and unmute you. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't. Oh, yes. And I can see you
Right
too.
here.
Hi. So let me just get your name here.
Sure.
And what is your last name?
T-O-M.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
T-O-M like Tom.
Okay.
B-O-U-L-I-A-N.
A-N?
Yes.
Okay. And your date of birth?
7/1/76.
7/1/76. Gotcha. Okay. So now, do you already have the Genius? Are you on trial?
I've had the Genius since 2018, and I got it because of my dog who did pass away, but that's really the reason why I got it. But I became addicted to it, and I've used it since 2018 for everything. But I decided to use it in my practice. I'm studying to be an emotion code.
So am I.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And a body code.
Right.
Yeah.
So I decided to just incorporate this in it. And I've been in holistic health for over 20 years. So
well, that's awesome. I'm sure you love it, because I mean,
do
it's
actually.
it's like took my practice to a new level. So I really enjoy it.
I use it every day. I use it on my other dog, on my husband and friends. So, but I just want to like incorporate it and get some kind of certification for it, just to have it.
Okay. So let's start. I will still go somewhat slow for people who are just starting out or don't have it yet and are interested in getting it. So it can help them and they can learn a little bit. So the first thing, we have your information here. So I'm just going to hit next down at the bottom. And I just realized, Emma, that I did not get from you what you would like to work with. What do you want to work on today? Do you have any pain anywhere? Oh, your heel.
Right. It's my heel.
Okay.
So my left heel.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being severe, how would you rate your pain?
Probably 8 on and off. 8.
Okay. So we will work on that. So now we're going to take record your voice.
Okay.
So I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, begin. And you'll say your full name and then repeat the vowels until the 15 seconds is up. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Emma Tomboulian, A-E-I-O-U. Emma Tomboulian, A-E-I-O-U. 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 Emma Tomboulian.
Perfect. Okay, now the voice harmonics down on the bottom left, I'm not going to hit that because you really can't hear it very well with the Zoom, but often, well, what it does is it plays what you just recorded back into a frequency. And it's usually very low pitched sound. So it's hard to hear, but it is there. Mm-hmm. Trust me. And you should play it before your session. just to have that 30 seconds. But I'm going to proceed to the next down here on the bottom right. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to just take your picture. So I'm taking your selfie right now. And there you are. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit begin analysis. And continue. And do you have an affirmation you'd like to use?
Joy.
Just joy?
Just joy.
Okay. And as you can see here, if anybody who's doing the trial, this is what your genius will look like. It will just have biofield, body, and mind as your three categories. If you have created any libraries or purchased any libraries, it will say libraries. And I'm going to go get my libraries right now by using the 3 bars in the top right, our navigation bars. And from here, I will click on libraries. And now I want to add all my libraries to this current client. So I select all and OK. And now when I hit the back arrow, you can see that the libraries appear there. So I'm going to hit begin analysis now. So just to give a little explanation of the number system that the Genius uses, on the right-hand side, you can see a bunch of values. So the Genius uses the number range from 0 to 777. Values from 0 to 100 are observed to be blue or represented by the color blue. And typically those are chronic energetic disturbances, or in Chinese medicine, they may be referred to as like stagnant energy. Then from after 100, the range is 101 to about the mid 400s. Those are represented by the color green. And then where the green ends, the yellow picks up in the mid 400s, and that will take you to about 688, 689. And from there, then the highest range is from 689 to 777, and that's represented by the color red. And those would be your more acute energetic disturbances, which means they're more current or present time happening. Chinese medicine would also observe those to be like heat or inflammation. So
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So what's the most important to hit first? Is it the red or the blue? That's where I always get confused. I was told blue, but I'm not sure if it's red.
That's a great question. I think it really depends on who you're working with, because if someone comes to you and they say, I just hurt myself, or I just came down with these symptoms X, Y, and Z. I mean, I always look at both. I don't just do one or the other. So
Okay, right.
I'm answering this based on if you ask that question, one or the other. I would look at the red.
Okay.
But with that said, if it's more chronic, that may be more the root cause. So it's really why
But technically both.
Yeah, technically both. And I would still do 600 and above and 200 and below, like on, where you're focusing, like what symptoms you're looking to alleviate,
Okay, I'm glad you told me that. So 600 and above and 200 and below.
Mhm.
Nice. Good.
There's even times, and I'll show you now, where like if I go into spiritual protection, I'll put them all in the main tray and I'll run them all just because I think that which is under the biofield, I just think it's that important that I just want to make sure I'm clearing them all, because what I find for me is, when we clear, and you probably know this through emotion code, we have layers
Mhm.
that we clear.
Right.
So, when you rescan it and clear it again, you're kind of clearing through those layers. So it's kind of why it may show low one time and may appear then high again. It's not that it's not clearing. It's just that things kind of like come
up.
to the surface. That's
Got
how, from an energetic aspect and using emotion code and body code, I see that. Now, some people might explain it differently to you, but
Thank
that's
you for explaining
intuitively
that.
my read on it.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So the first thing I want to do before we get sidetracked is let's get your aura picture here. And you can, given that you're doing emotion code, your muscle testing, you can always muscle test your questions. I
Right.
don't, because I've said this in these groups before. Even though I muscle test, I really try to go with my intuition when I use the Genius.
Okay.
I go by, where my eye is, what it's picking up on, and I'll pick that. And unless I really want to check something, then I may muscle test it. But I just find it slows me down when working with the Genius, and there's so much information that we're already given.
Right. With the Genius.
Sometimes I'll do it like, oh, how long should I run it? But again, sometimes I just put it on 0. And when I feel like I need to turn it off, that's what I go with. It's my intuition, like just nudging me to turn it off at that point. Sorry, I clicked off here. So here is your aura. And it's a little bit pale and muddy, but that's just stagnant energy probably. And if you're using the Genius all the time, you're running a lot of frequencies all the time. So a lot of times that's common. So, I mean, I'm not going to really, green is healing. It's your heart chakra. I'm always looking for bright, vibrant colors. So hopefully, at the end of the session, we can cut through some of that stagnant energy and move that along so that they become bright and vibrant. And then the colors relate to whichever chakra that's where that stagnant energy might be. So then the next thing I just want to point out that on the left-hand side, these arrows are just showing that you can go one layer deeper, that if you click on the line, there's more information there. You can see down by aura, there isn't an arrow there, and that's just because it just brings you to the analysis of the aura, but there's not like another panel. Really sorry if my screen seems to be like going bright and dark. I don't know why, but anyway. So the next thing I like to work with, it's either one of two things. I'll either go to the general overview, or I like to run a quick clearing on the spiritual protection. And I think that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm just going to I'm going to add all the items from here into the main tray. And I'll always add grounding, even if it's not there, just because everybody should want to be grounded. I mean, and sometimes you could add the auric protection in too, but really I always make sure I add grounding. Psychic attack very frequently will show when you have physical pain. So that's something I would, if someone says that they have physical pain, I would always look at that. And again, even if it's not showing, I would add it because it may show up later. So let's just run this quickly now. I'm going to put it on all. And I mean, like psychic attack is showing low for you down here. So that may not have any issue. I'm just going to run them all. Sometimes just running this can clear up your aura too.
Mhm.
Okay, it's not giving me a rectification, which it should, but I'm just going to rescan it and see what shows up. So now psychic attack is the top on the list. So I will run, I'm just going to run the highs here.
And can you explain the psychic attack?
It's
Meaning
just like negative energies,
from
usually
other people?
yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that someone's maliciously sending them to you. I mean, you know, I don't think most people are aware of like our intention and how powerful our intentions are. But even if they're having like, you know, if they're annoyed or for whatever reason, and they keep having these repetitive thoughts, that could be like a psychic attack energy. So, but again, I really want to stress, it doesn't mean that there's people out
Right,
there
of
like
course.
wishing harm, you
Right.
know, on you.
Just so people understand, because a lot of new people have like no idea what that means.
Yeah, and a lot of these words are like scary to look at, but it's
Look at
just
entities.
energy. Like everything is energy, and it's just the more negative or you know, low vibrating or frequency it is, it's just the name we give it is just doesn't sound good. So, and that's why it I guess it holds a low energy, but like don't get freaked out by the words. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing the percentages today, but we're just going to back out and hope that it did what it's supposed to do there. Just for fun, we can see what your aura looks like after clearing that.
That's great.
So again, I mean, it's not that much different. I mean, some of the colors have shifted. Maybe some of this paleness is moving out since it moves. When we're looking at it, it moves from right to left. The energy, that's the direction it's moving. So, okay, so now the next thing I will always start with is I'll click up at the top on system overview, and it brings us to the general overview page. And that's basically the system overview. And it's like the expanded version, as if you hit all those arrows and opened everything up, and then it reorders everything in numerical order. So it's a great way to see like what you're really, your main, you know, top 10 reds are and your bottom, you know, 10 or however you want to view it. So for you here, the things that are currently, your highest disturbances are sulfate in your minerals, rescue remedy, the Bach flower essence, your gallbladder 0.40, your generally your lung meridian, and then I don't know how to pronounce this amino acid, but you know what I mean. So now if you hit general overview again, you get the bottom half. I mean, the bottom section. So bone set, herb, your kidney 0.6, lung 0.4, bladder 0.37, governing vessel 26, proline amino acid.
This
So
is
you have a-
amazing. If right now, this is amazing. If
If
anyone
you
is
never
new
used
here,
it before,
no, I have. No, I'm just saying if anyone here is new, it's amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. And I've used this so many times, but I'm having a little bit of kidney pain, having a little bit of bladder issues. So everything's coming up. And I've never talked to you before, right?
no, I never met you
First time.
before.
This is why I love the Genius so much.
So, well, me too. And again, for those that are new, it's not diagnostic in the allopathic sense. So I just want everybody to be clear on that, but it does show energetic disturbances. So you can have a virus, you could have anything, and you can clear it on the physical level by whether you're taking it, medicines or antibiotics. But if the energetic imprint of it didn't clear for whatever reason, you can still have symptoms. So, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at energetic disturbances. So if anybody has any questions on that, I'm happy to dive deeper into that, but I think that should explain it. Anyway, we're going to run this now I'm going to put it on 0 again. And if you hit this yellow button up top, it changes to 0, and that allows us to run it until I physically hit stop. It's also supposed to be giving me a rectification number. When it's hooked up with Zoom, sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully we'll have better luck this time.
Denise, I have a question. This is Sally. Why you didn't put the, you didn't select the red, blue, green, and put it in the whole tray this time, right? You didn't.
I didn't. That's because quick balance, which is what I hit on the bottom, automatically will just run the frequencies of red and blue. It says high and low items only. So it is high and low if you're looking at the numerical value, but it's also reds and blues. So that's why I didn't need to drag and drop anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, it showed us the rectification this time. So you had 31% rectification. That's decent. I usually like to get 40% rectification. Ryan Williams is happy with 20% because he feels it's a gentler, but I do work with 40%. I've had good luck with that. I think really you need to learn your client and see some people are more sensitive to subtle frequencies. So maybe you would want to only go with 20%, but I would just gauge that. And sometimes if you have clients that are very sensitive to subtle frequencies, you're going to work on running for shorter periods of time. And what I found is that you can work your way up slowly, and they can slowly start being able to take longer sessions. But
okay,
if you push,
because I was running full on 60%.
You mean trying to get 60%?
Yeah, like I was literally leaving it on for a good 15 minutes until it ended, and then it would hit 60, sometimes 70, even 80. And
Yeah,
then,
no, I get high percentages sometimes, and it depends. I mean, again, if I do this a lot with family members or friends, if they're just got sick, I'll run frequencies overnight for them. You know, my son might call me and say I hurt my shoulder, and I'll run them overnight if it's something new. It really kind of depends on the situation.
okay,
But often, I mean, I'll get like 85. I've gotten up to 91% before. Now, it doesn't mean when you hit rescan though, that it's all going to be low. I mean,
right.
it's just a good indication that their body is like primed and receptive to taking all these frequencies in. A lot of times, if I see that the rectification is low, like in the teens and lower,
That's when you,
either they're dehydrated, and I always ask them to drink water first, or it could just take adding one solution, like one item into the main tray, and it could make all the difference. Like
oh, interesting.
add an herb, or add an essential oil, or add a Bach flower essence, or I use the Alaskan flower essences in
Oh, I
gel
like
a
those
lot.
too.
But if you just add one, sometimes it's just that will make the difference to break up that stagnant energy.
Got it.
So, okay. So now basically when you look at this, you look pretty good. You only have one blue and one
I
red
better. I
line.
take really good care of myself.
You do. I'm
I
impressed.
better.
That's really good. But your mind is showing on top. So that does mean that's where the genius is saying your most, energetic disturbances are. So why don't we, we have the Bach flower essences and the brain EEG, they're green, but they're still below 200. So I would,
Got it.
for me, I would look at those two and then always look at emotions.
Mhm.
So here's that rescue remedy. And that was like in your top 5. So I would add the reds and the blues here.
Was there an update to the Genius since 2018?
Yes, but
'Cause
you
I don't have it.
when was the last? There was one. There will be another one coming. But
16.9.4 is the current version.
but you should have you not updated?
I don't think I have. Like the one
It's
that
like
I,
it's 16.94, I think is the
0.4,
version
yeah.
that we're working on right now.
is it this one? Wait,
I can't, does it say 16.94?
no, hold on. I know why.
Take a look at 6 o'clock on your phone. If it was
Let me go
below
on it.
the butter.
Does anybody want me to use the I can put on the
Welcome to the client rec.
animation. So if anybody wants to see that. So I added the Bach flower essences. You don't mind that I'm doing this while you're looking, do you?
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna add in these brain EEGs. Theta is really good to add in to break up some like emotional stuff. So you might want to add that if, let's say, things aren't clearing for you. And did I add the emotions? No. So let's add these reds and blues.
Great.
Okay, I'm not really going to go into the neurotransmitters and brain anatomy. It's not getting that we need that. I'm going to add these meridians because we saw that those were like more chronic for you.
Okay.
You were having some issues. I also always add the conception and the governing meridian, from emotion code, we swipe
Right,
on the
mhm.
governing meridian. So it's like,
Well, that's good to know.
I always add it, so I will drag and drop governing and conception. But what I also always do here is I will add the first and the last point of that meridian. And that's just to help get things moving if the first and the last point are like stimulated. So I happen to know that GV28 is the last point, but if you didn't know, you can look on this chart and see which is the highest number. And then the conception vessel is CV1 and 24. Did you find it? Claire sent you a little message here.
You did, hold on, Emma, please look at 6 o'clock. Thank you. I accidentally logged myself out. I'm logging myself.
Okay, so now we've worked with the meridians. I'm going to go to the Nogiers and I'm going to add the red and the blues. And I'll always add green. I'll always add G. That's the universal one. Hi, Aisha.
Hi, I'm trying to figure out how to use this. I just fixed it. I have a quick
Okay.
question about biofield. Like when I use biofield, any biofield, like especially when I use all of them, because I always use all of them, I normally feel like maybe it's using frequency instead of the flowers and the herbs, and maybe it just gave me more energy. So when I use the biofield late, I never slept at night. Does the biofield use frequencies from the inside, or does it just go randomly pick herbs or frequency or both?
No, it uses frequencies.
Okay.
It's all frequencies.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Not the megahertz though, just, okay, see, I got it. I understand what you mean. now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna mute you now, just so we can.
No problem.
add it.
Thank you.
I don't know where it is. Claire, maybe you can find that.
Trying.
Okay, so now we have our Saveggio tones, which are similar to Nogiers, only Nogiers are the frequencies to specific organs or glands. Saveggio tones are frequencies from on a more spiritual aspect. So I always add 528. Here we could add the red and the blue. And again, when you're adding, when I talk about 600 and above and 200 and below, I may not do that here because I don't have a specific reason. If I was doing more general and just working on clearing your biofield, yeah, I would take everything 600 and above and 200 and below and just do that on the whole biofield. But since we're going to be looking to go into other libraries that are dealing more specifically with your heel pain, I'm not going to do that right now. Unless I was like, intuitively, I thought I should do that. Sacred geometry, we can go in and I'll grab the top one and the bottom one. The other thing is we've also did the general overview. So a lot of these we've already worked with a little bit, even though we don't, may not have realized we were working with all of them.
I mean, I'm going to retake the class. I've taken the class before. I have these 2 books, but I'm going to retake it because honestly, to be able to work on.
Well, you should watch. We do these every Thursday.
I know. I
If you
had
have
no
questions,
idea. I just found out.
Just come and watch and, email with your question if you want ahead of time and we can help you work with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so now your body, I want to go and look at what today's stress is. So, and we're going to add these, which is your fungus sensitivities. Again, it's red, so it doesn't mean you have a fungal issue. Maybe you were just in an area where there was mold or something. And if it was coming up all the time, then, I would have a little bit more concern. Immune pathogens.
I
heavy
am
metal.
detoxing. I'm doing a detox. So
Oh, well, yeah.
doing coffee
You're gonna have a lot of
enemas.
stuff. You're gonna have a lot of stuff surfacing. We can look at your sensitivities. Fish, coffee, nuts, any issues with them?
Coffee goes the other way. I don't drink it.
Well, let's put it in.
Not
Dust,
China, only
barley.
Brazil. Actually, I do drink, like I make my own cashew milk and stuff, so I don't drink dairy.
Okay. Um. Oh, no. Body systems, muscular, circulatory. So muscular could have to do with your heel. Skeletal. So we'll put those
Sorry,
in.
did you say nuts came up?
Say what?
Did you say nuts came up in sensitivity? I'm just thinking about that cashew milk. You might want to reconsider.
We
Yeah,
can put that in.
and Brazil nuts.
Good call.
Thank you. Oy.
Sorry, my trackpad is.
Sorry, Denise, sorry.
That's
No.
okay. No, it's not
Thank
you.
you.
The trackpad is sometimes sensitive, so it like goes back on the screen. Digestion, I like to work with all the time. Liver is showing up. You're doing a detox, but I'm gonna get all of these here. Oh, and you have quite a number that are, it's almost the whole, all the greens and all the blues. Spinal energy, let's make sure we get all those. Now, again, here, the segments of the spinal column, the vertebrae are listed here in order. But if we hit high to low, it will then show you, it will order it reds, yellows, green, blue. So I'm going to grab all the reds. And I'll grab thoracic 8 because it's 600 and above. And then I'm going to grab these that are below 200. And the blue. Now, just because this is, I like looking at this because sometimes it could give you a lot of information. Lumbar 2 has to deal with the appendix, abdomen, and thigh. It harmonizes the spine for cramps, appendicitis, varicose veins, and leg pain, which I would put heel pain really in with
Like,
that.
I also have a sciatic nerve, but
Oh, you do? Oh, so, and the emotional connection here is not seeing a way out. Old hurts are not released. So there may be, emotional things. I don't know if you have like a past life library. I do. We can look at that to see if there's anything that may be like bleeding through from, past life stuff.
or generational or whatever.
Right. L5 is legs, ankles, feet, toes, arches.
Wow.
So
That's-
have you had this pain for a while in your foot?
I walk 3 miles a day and like, I don't know, it just really started a couple weeks ago,
Well, so
but I love this.
Here you
I wish
go.
I wish I don't know, this is just amazing. The more I
so
use it, the more it's,
I know it's just, and here's your liver again. And the skin, because you're doing the detox, that's really normal for your skin because that's, our biggest organ on how we're gonna get rid of waste.
yeah. Went to the sauna yesterday, did all that.
And minerals. I like to always add in lithium. It is showing a disturbance, but that often has a lot to do with helping emotions clear. A lot of times you'll hear like bipolar, people that have bipolar are given lithium. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's the case. I'm just
I know,
saying
I
it
mean, I've
shows
got
up
issues.
often in helping to work with emotions. And infection energy, bacteria. Again, we're exposed to so much bacteria all the time. I'll put virus in, parasites, mold, fungus. Now fungus is showing up again here. So maybe there's something, but like you know, there's a lot of different reasons why those can show. I mean, like if you have candida or eat a lot of sugar, a lot of times an overgrowth in candida will show as like athlete's foot or like a nail fungus, and that's like as the candida is like mutating, that's kind of how it presents itself. I have a lot of libraries, that's why this is taking a little bit of time. So I'm gonna look at stuff for your feet now. I'm gonna look at muscles, hips, legs, thighs, foot. So we have, I'm going to put, I feel like putting them all in, but there's a lot here. So I'm just gonna do 200 and below. And I'll also look at the general muscles because this is, I don't know if it's tendon related for you, but that is showing up. Joints. And
So where can I get more of the libraries? I mean, I have a good library, but I'd like to get more.
oh, I can point you in the right direction. You can email me later and remind
Okay.
me and I can talk. There's really great libraries in Inside Health App's website, and they're from a bunch of different people. Jane's on here, Connie's on here, and they've made like really wonderful libraries. So there's just a great collection of a lot of different libraries. So that's where I would start.
I
But if
have,
you were
like-
looking for something specific, for a
I
specific
just want to
topic,
add on to my libraries. I have the general libraries. I have the heart, the animals. I have stuff like that. I just like, I don't have the muscle one. I want to get that.
okay,
like-
well,
like,
email me
someone-
later and I can
Yeah, I
help
will.
guide you on that.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I am gonna go to pain now. And I like looking at this library just to see if it's on point, showing back pain, but that could be your sciatic. Right heel pain and left heel pain show up as your bottom too. So,
It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
and it could always, it shows knee pain. Do you have any issues with your knee?
The knee's on the other side. It's on the right side. It's all over, all my issues.
Well, right knee pain is showing up there as
Yeah.
well. So I just put those in. I'll put the plantar in the back up here. And then we can look at causes.
This is such a great investment.
It is. It should be everybody's first aid kit.
Seriously.
I added histamines in here because histamines, you probably know, has a lot to do with inflammation. So if there's anywhere that there's inflammation in your body, you could also go into inflammations. Like if you don't have this library, in hormones on the system, it has histamine. So that's always a great place to go if you have inflammation or pain, is to go in there. And I want to go to the right frequencies in here. And I always hit 600 and above on this one as well, just because you just never know what frequency may be the right.
Welcome to the client records page.
Okay, now we have close to 200. I want to look at past life for you. I'm just going to put the reds and the blues in here.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to look at this library. So this is the Alaskan Gems. And for all of you guys who have been here weekly, you know I love this group of libraries. But so the green tourmaline, if you, the write-up that I had was longer. That's why I can't read it all unless I go to Entangled Insights. But green tourmaline is a transparent stone that helps us see through the illusion of separation and experience. Its oneness with life lifts the veil between the human and the natural world so that we can see ourselves reflected in all of life and feel all forms of life within. And the blue is red quartz, helps us ground and energize the lower chakras, brings stability, protection, and containment for the second chakra, helps us become more aware of the energy and information we are sending and receiving at this level so we can adjust our boundaries accordingly. So I don't know if that resonates with you, but I'm going to put those in, and I'm going to go now and run a progressive insights. Now, I'm first going to analyze it, but I will run all the frequencies twice at 1 minute and then run just the highs at 3 minutes. Now, again, this is just what I do most of the time. It is not an absolute, so you don't have to do it this way. Oh, this is because I have the graphic 3D. That's why you're seeing this right now.
I'm like, I definitely don't have this one.
Yeah, no.
Mine
this
must
isn't
be
an
like
update.
when
This
Ryan
is-
first created it.
Yeah, no, this isn't an update, but if you go into accessories, if you like having this, you can go in and purchase this. It's an
Okay.
additional.
When
it's
I
an
used to have
add-on.
problems way in the day, I would call Ryan. He would be my,
So now it just goes like back and forth. It just gives you, when you're having clients that want to see it, it's nice to give them something different. It also has like this little, oh shoot, I have it on 0. Okay, so that was 51%. So that's really
Oh,
great.
nice.
I am going to move it to 1 minute though now. I'm going to rescan it. So what did show up on top for you was pain relief, liver meridian,
Oh my gosh,
again, some
amazing.
pain stuff, muscle pain. So let's just see what happens when we rescan that. So we have Nogier B. Now, Nogier B, just FYI, has to do with digestion, lymphatic, circulatory, and neuropathy. So just knee injury, joint pains. So let's just run all of those again for 1 minute. So do people like, just put a comment in the chat box. Do you like when I'm using the 3D graphics, or would you prefer that I don't use that in the future? I think it's kind of cool to see, but thanks, Barbara. I'm glad you like the 3D. Yes, my email is Denise@insighthealthapps.com. So 47% rectification. So that's great. So we're running like 200 frequencies and you're getting a really amazing rectification. So now I'm going to rescan it. Thanks, Claire. And now I'm just going to run the highs for 3 minutes. So CV24, some of these different things up here. Left heel pain is in the highs. Just so that's validating, right?
Very. Do you think crossing legs or crossing arms has anything like?
That's funny that you
when
say
this is
that because
run?
when I started doing energy work, I took a lot of kinesiology classes. This is before body code,
Mhm.
motion code. And I was told like you can't cross your legs or your arms because it will block the
My
flow.
practitioners are kinesiologists, so they
You know,
always
I
say
think-
that.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. What I am saying is your belief systems have a lot to do with things. So
Okay,
if you don't believe that to be an issue,
it won't. Got it.
probably won't be an issue.
Are you from San Diego? Is anyone here from San Diego?
I'm Southern Connecticut.
I grew up part of my life in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, no way.
Mhm.
Not too far, about an hour, maybe a little longer, 90 minutes.
I'm an East Coast girl. I grew up in Brooklyn, like big portion of my life. Connecticut, then Brooklyn, but I'm in San Diego for the past 20 years.
Where'd you go to high school?
In San Diego?
No, in Brooklyn.
No. My
you-
adult life was in Brooklyn from like 20 to
Oh, okay.
35 was in Brooklyn, but the rest was in San Diego and Connecticut. And
Oh, well, that's,
I'm more of an East Coast girl that lives in San Diego.
oh, well, I grew up in Douglaston, which is the last town in Queens.
Okay, nice. I'm Brooklyn Heights. That's where I lived.
Not too far.
No.
Ooh, this is kind of cool.
Is this another app?
No, this is the 3D animation.
Yeah, I mean, like what I meant to say is like, is this another purchase?
Yes, I think it's,
What's it called?
don't quote me, I think it's $199. I'm not sure. Either, I think it's $199. I'd have to check, but
This is cool.
in
I like it.
accessories, when you go into the navigation,
Uh-huh.
you can see it. It's like 3D animation. And if you click it, I think you can purchase it through there.
Okay.
If not, go on Inside Health Apps and you can purchase it there. Again, email me. I could send you the links for that. Okay, 16%. Now, although I like 40%, I'm really not that upset with 16% because you had, when I ran all the frequencies, you had like 55% and 47 or something
Right.
like that. So, you know, if just the highs, we could go back and run that a little bit more, but we're getting close to 3. So I want to go back and I want to look at your aura and see what we can do if it needs any, a little love to make it look.
I will tell you right now, I'm pressing on where I had the pain, and from an 8, it's probably a 4.
Oh, that's awesome. That's like 50%.
Gosh, it's amazing.
That's great. Yay. See, now you have to work more on yourself. You're
I
working
have
more on
to.
everybody else.
I have to work more on myself with the Genius.
So
But
this
better.
it's looking better. I'm going to try to use some of the flower essences to try to, you know, break it up a little bit more. But I mean, it's definitely looking a little better. So I like these environmental essences. I'm going to put them in the quick zap. And What else do I want to look at here for you? I'm going to add these red ones and the blue ones. So now I'm just going to move the timer down to 0 here and run those. Okay, so good. Let's see if that helped. So much better. So, I mean, you still have a little bit of the gray on the bottom, but you can see that there's nice, bright, vibrant colors starting to come in there. So that looks really good. Do
I
you
am
have
sitting on
any
a
other
very
questions.
I am sitting on a very cold floor.
Oh. Well, maybe. That could be it. Never know.
Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome.
I've
And
never
again,
really had
email me and I
anybody-
can help you.
Yeah, I've never
can-
had anybody outside of me do this on me. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I can help. And everybody else, I hope you enjoyed today's Thursday Live and have, I think we answered all your questions. But again, if you still have questions, you can email me at Denise@Inside Health Apps. I'm happy to answer your questions. And until next week, have a great week, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Claire. Thank you, guys.